The region between Gaza and Rafa is facing a humanitarian crisis. Hezbollah from southern Lebanon has been attacking Israeli border posts to support Hamas. Drone infiltrations were detected in northern Israeli settlements, and the IDF reported assaults from southern Lebanon. Tensions escalated along the border between southern Lebanon and northern Israel following Hezbollah attacks. Powerful explosions were reported near Beirut, Lebanon's capital, and images of explosions in Sidon, a city south of Beirut, were shared on social media. The Israeli army conducted intense airstrikes in Sidon, Lebanon, as stated by IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari. Hezbollah, a group supported by Iran, has been preparing for attacks and operating in tunnel systems near Israel's borders. The IDF noticed Hezbollah's decision to restart its tunnel networks to increase its aerial attacks on Rafa. Hezbollah has been pushed back in the tunnel lines due to recent attacks in southern Lebanon, significantly reducing the group's military capabilities in the border tunnels. A crucial tunnel network shaft near the group's border with Israel was destroyed by Israeli airstrikes on Hezbollah positions. The F-16 fighter aircraft of the IDF have successfully bombed and destroyed the tunnel network shafts connecting the Israeli border settlements, significantly weakening Hezbollah's military capabilities. The Israeli Center for the Study of Israel's security challenges in Lebanon and Syria has confirmed the location of Hezbollah's covert tunnel network on the Lebanese-Israeli border. The group has successfully completed the construction of their entire tunnel network along the border. There are a minimum of 8 exits from Nura in the far west. A single tunnel can stretch up to 45 kilometers, and the entire network of tunnels covers hundreds of kilometers. Hezbollah's extensive tunnel networks in Lebanon, large enough for trucks with multi-barrel rocket launchers, pose a significant challenge for the Israel Defense Forces IDF. These tunnels connect various entry and exit points, including Hezbollah's main headquarters in Beirut and its logistical base in the Bekaa region. The tunnels contain command and control rooms, weapons and supply depots, field hospitals, and launch shafts for rockets and missiles. The IDF has been successful in detecting and destroying parts of this network, but the scale and complexity of the tunnels, which are believed to have been under construction since before 2006, present a formidable challenge. The IDF uses ground-penetrating radar and fiber optic cables to detect underground digging, and its soldiers are equipped with sound systems to detect unusual sounds underground. Despite these efforts, Hezbollah's underground network remains a significant threat. Hezbollah's tunnel networks in Lebanon, which are large enough to cause a tsunami effect on rocks and soil when explosives are detonated, pose a significant challenge for the Israel Defense Forces IDF. The IDF has implemented preventive measures along the border with southern Lebanon, including the evacuation of several settlements in northern Israel to avoid casualties from Hezbollah's targeted explosions. The IDF is continuously strengthening its military capabilities, particularly in northern Israel, to address the threat posed by Hezbollah's airstrikes and tunnel networks. Despite the effectiveness of Israel's air defense systems against aerial attacks, tunnel networks pose a much greater threat. The construction of these tunnel systems, which requires robust limestone machinery and sometimes explosives such as dynamite, is strategically positioned in carefully chosen spots. For instance, the Hezbollah tunnel beneath a cement mill in the hamlet of Kfar Killa, Lebanon, which took over 2 years to dig and is equipped with electricity, telephone lines, and ventilation systems, is one such strategic location due to its proximity to Israel. The IDF has discovered a vast network of underground tunnels and bunkers in South Lebanon's border areas, some of which are just a few meters from the Israeli border. Hezbollah's tunnel networks in Lebanon, equipped with firing positions, operation centers, medical facilities, ammunition and weapon stockpiles, and deventilation and air conditioning systems, pose a significant challenge for the Israel Defense Forces (IDF). The IDF has implemented preventive measures along the border with southern Lebanon, including the evacuation of several settlements in northern Israel to avoid casualties from Hezbollah's targeted explosions. The IDF is continuously strengthening its military capabilities, particularly in northern Israel, to address the threat posed by Hezbollah's airstrikes and tunnel networks. Despite the effectiveness of Israel's air defense systems against aerial attacks, tunnel networks pose a much greater threat. The IDF is currently engaged in a significant operation in the Gaza Strip, showing significant advancements in the West Bank and Rafa, both key areas under Hamas control. The Israeli military remains vigilant, despite their strong position in northern Gaza, and is actively conducting raids and offensives in the Khan Yunis region of southern Gaza. Israel is focusing its main operation on the Rafa settlement located on Gaza's Egyptian border and is committed to apprehending the leaders of Hamas, wherever they may be. Following the conflict in the Gaza Strip, Israel's intelligence services plan to conduct a thorough operation to locate and eliminate Hamas leaders globally. In response to the attack that claimed the lives of 11 Israeli athletes and coaches at the 1972 Munich Olympics, Israel's leaders have expressed their determination to locate those responsible for the October 7th attack. Despite the country's usual secrecy around such missions, authorities have stated that Israeli leaders must now decide on the timing and method of targeting Hamas leaders located outside the country. Israel is committed to preventing Hamas from becoming a significant future threat, which is why they are persisting in their operations in Gaza and strategizing to eliminate the group's leaders. However, engaging in targeted killings in foreign countries could potentially breach international regulations and pose challenges for the perpetrators when trying to return home without the required authorizations. A video depicting Michael and other Hamas leaders, including senior leader Ismail Haniyeh, celebrating and praying in one of their offices while watching live TV coverage of the October 7th assault, deeply angered the Israeli authorities. Israel intensified its efforts to eliminate Hamas leaders after viewing this video. Despite the backlash against the Hamas video, Israeli military officials have expressed approval for the actions taken to eliminate terror leaders. Former Israeli General Amos Yadlin, who previously led the army's intelligence division, supported Netanyahu's proposal to eliminate Hamas leaders when needed. According to Yadlin, this must be done in the name of justice. Yadlin confidently stated that justice must be served for all Hamas leaders and participants in the attacks. However, there were some opposing Israel's proposal in the nation. For example, former Mossad director Ephraim Halevi considered it to be insufficient guidance. According to Halevi, the danger would continue even if the Hamas leaders were eliminated. Halevi stressed that these assassination attempts could provoke Hamas militants and escalate the perception of more severe dangers. According to Ephraim Halevi, the likelihood of this idea being put into action is very slim given the numerous evaluations and declarations. Israel's potential success in neutralizing Hamas leaders is a topic of significant discussion. According to statistical analysis and the book First Rise and Kill by Israeli journalist Ronan Bergman, Israel has executed over 2,700 missions post World War II and is likely the most proficient nation in carrying out targeted operations globally. In 1997, when Netanyahu became prime minister, he directed Israeli operatives to eliminate Michael, the Hamas founder residing in Jordan, This operation led to a crisis that was resolved with the help of former US President Bill Clinton, who convinced Netanyahu to send the head of Mossad to Amman with the antidote to save Mashal's life. In 2010, a team of Israeli operatives entered Dubai using fake European passports and carried out an attack near Hamas's alleged political base in Amman. The Israeli government is dedicated to analyzing the geostrategic aspects of this campaign, with the strategic goal to eliminate current dangers and deter future ones from arising. Israel's comprehensive strategy to protect its borders involves focusing on Hamas leaders within the country and abroad, and working to reduce the risk of cross-border attacks and infiltration through tunnels by weakening Hamas. However, the overall stability of the region remains uncertain. Taking out prominent figures could lead to a power vacuum, the emergence of more extreme groups, or unpredictable changes in the organization's strategies, all of which may not lead to peace or stability. The recent escalation of the conflict between Israel and Hamas raises significant international concerns, particularly regarding Israel's targeted attacks on Hamas officials. Sensitivity of the issue poses significant global risks, as Israel's actions in targeting Hamas officials outside its borders could greatly escalate the conflict and potentially lead to broader regional conflicts with other nations or groups backing Hamas.